I need to cry. Hi guys, and welcome to my first vlog. For my first video, I wanted to talk about me and what I'm going through, my journey about kidney failure, and going through the transition of being a dialysis patient. So I want to take you guys one by one throughout the journey from day one. So it happened in 2018. I just had migraines, and then eventually became too much for me that I was puking every day, and I had to be admitted to the emergency unit of St. Louis Hospital in the Philippines. There we went through a series of tests. I went through MRI because I thought I had aneurysm, basically, because my head was just pounding and I couldn't eat anymore because I would be in so much pain that I would be puking everything that I would ingest. And then we found out after 2 weeks of staying in the hospital that I might have some kidney related issues. And since I have IgA nephropathy, since I was 16, they were very careful. My creatinine was so high, but I had no symptoms. But after 2 weeks of my stay in the hospital, that's when we had to go for a biopsy. And while I was going through the biopsy, a lot of people were talking about what was happening to me. There were a lot of speculations that I have, chronic kidney disease. There were a lot of news talking about my health, but I really had no answer because we didn't know. My doctors and we have no idea what's happening until after the biopsy. And then that's when my world came crashing down. Hi guys, so I just had a meltdown. So my second opinion turned out to be a confirmation. I will be needing a transplant, and so I have to fly to Canada because my brother and my sister will be there, my mom too, and they could be my potential donors. Today was my doctor's visit in Touro University. One of the best kidney doctors were there, and immediately she said, go get a transplant. Let's just hope, Canada's gonna bring me more positive news, but so far it's not positive. It was the start of my journey, basically, and we found out my kidneys were failing. My kidneys were functioning for 50% only, and that I will be needing either a dialysis or kidney transplant ASAP. Obviously, I was 28 years old. I had my life full of promises. I didn't believe it, so I went to Japan to get a second opinion, and basically that's what happened. When we found out that my kidneys were slow, or I was going through kidney failure, my doctors and I have worked out a plan to see if we can reverse it. So we've decided to change my diet. Like in an instant like this, I became a vegan. And on top of being a vegan, I wasn't allowed to eat a few more veggies. So I was only allowed to eat like greens, like leaves, no dressing, no salt, no nothing. Basically, it was just rice. So I found myself eating just plain rice, or like fried rice with no salt or anything in it, but just pure veggies. I think a lot of kidney related issues patients knows that there's a few vegetables that are very high in some things that we're not allowed to eat. So it was really hard for me because I love food. But I had to give it up because I love my body more and I want to live. So it was just really hard because I have to give up a lot of what I really love in an instant. But I'm just very lucky that the people that I live with are very supportive of me, like my boyfriend, my cousins, and my housekeeper. So it was just a journey, and my medications was a lot. So this is my 6 p.m. and this is my 8 p.m. So we're trying as much as we can organize it. In the video that I showed, it was just probably, it was just for 2 weeks. That was just the medications for 2 weeks. And because I had to stop a lot of food, I had to consume medications that will help my body basically sustain the energy and everything. So, but then when I moved to Canada, it was a different story. During my biopsy, my boyfriend was late. He was actually allowed to come inside the room by my doctor, Dr. Cabral, and he came in late. I think I was already being injected with, like to calm me down and to make me sleep, or half asleep. And I don't know what they injected in me, but I started hallucinating and talking nonsense. He didn't really took a video right away about my hallucinations, but I was basically telling my doctors to sell me the drug that made me hallucinate. Pretty much I was really high. When you're going through kidney failure, your BP is super high or super low. Mine was extra high. I think I was going every day, it was 160 over 120 or 180 to 120, around there, which was very alarming, and my family members were like freaking out. But before that, during my biopsy, I was telling my doctors to sell me the drug, and while they were doing the BP on me, I was like, oh my God, it's a snake! It's a snake in my arms! And then everybody was laughing while they were injecting me with this big ass injection, like pretty much this big of an injection. The needle's this big, going through my back. I wasn't even feeling anything. I was just like high out of my mind. And then in the middle of that, while the doctor was injecting it and like taking a piece of my kidney, my boyfriend, Mark, decided to turn off the lights because he went like this and the light went off and everyone's like, oh, but it was just a funny moment, before we found out what was happening to me. So it was like a happy experience during the biopsy. When it was my second biopsy, but basically it was better than the first one. And I had to pee in a diaper, which was a really weird feeling. There was two choices. It was either pee in a diaper or you pee in that tin, like, call it arenola, or like a tin pee bottle or something. I can't pee and with a nurse standing there and going through my butt or the vajayjay. So I was like, just put a diaper on me, but I couldn't do anything. I was like, just put a diaper on me. So yeah, it was a funny experience that I will never forget. Out of everything that happened to me, that was, I guess, the highlight of wearing a diaper and being while the nurse and the doctor's waiting. Because I guess after they administered the drug, they make you pee just to make sure your kidneys are okay. So yeah, that's a funny story. Looking back at the video diary that I did, I remember it fully, the emotions that I was going through that day and that time. It was really sad, depressing, and scary all at the same time. It was just an overwhelming feeling, and on top of that, I just lost one of my closest friend, mentor in Iloilo, Tito Alex, and he had a heart attack and kidney failure as well, and he died. And I was so scared that I will die too, because he was very young. I mean, he's like about my mom's age, and we were really close, and I was just with him a year before that. So it made me realize how short life was and how important it is to live by the moment, to live your life fully, to experience happiness to the fullest, to tell your loved ones how much you love them, how much that you mean to them. And everything was just crashing down, and I have so much to do, but I had no more time basically. And just like what the video, it just came so quick and it was so fast that I felt like my life was ending. It was just an overwhelming moment that I was so scared.
I'm going to Canada tomorrow, and I'm excited to see my family, but I'm scared. I don't know what to expect. What if none of them's my donor? I guess I'm one of the lucky ones that I am Canadian and I get free health care. But if my family members, my sister, my brother, my mom, or my boyfriend's not my donor, I'll be on the waiting list. And I don't know if I can sleep tonight. My eyes are tired. I'm so sleepy, but I can't stop thinking about the flight, how I'm gonna do it. And when I get home to see my family, how will I explain to them that I will be needing their kidneys? And I feel sad because I'm the older sister. I'm supposed to be the one taking care of them, not the other way around.
So when we arrived in Toronto, yeah, I was just very lucky that my boyfriend joined me and dropping me off to my family. So we went to Service, Ontario, and then I almost fainted. I couldn't stand for too long anymore, that I have to be admitted to the emergency. And then I just stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, and at first it was a little bit of observation from the doctors because they couldn't understand how a young person like me, who's living a healthy lifestyle, ended up with kidney failure. And then they found, I have to tell them that, I have a history of IgA nephropathy. When I was 16, I had stage 1, but then I had remission, and then I didn't take care of my body. I didn't go to the hospitals and get tests for my IgA. So eventually I just went on stage 4 and renal failure. So it was really hard to explain to my mom, to my siblings about my kidney issues, because I felt ashamed, because for the longest time my mom asked me to come home and get checked, but I didn't. And it took me how many years before I really came home and collapsed to her arms. And so my mom felt guilty that she didn't do enough, and I felt guilty that I didn't come home to get tested. So when I started doing dialysis, the first dialysis was the hardest.
So just in case nobody knows what dialysis is an artificial kidney of mine. So what they're doing is they're getting my blood and cleaning it in a process. I will be getting my own machine, yay! But I have to be trained. This is just temporarily because I will be getting a transplant. So I have 4 donors: my friend Leo, my boyfriend Mark, my mom, and my brother. So I have 4 people, and I'm really hoping one of them is gonna be my donor.
It was, so many people were asking me if it's painful, if it's How did I feel? Did I feel fainty? Was I crying? I was crying, all right. Not crying like an ugly cry. It was more of a really sad, overwhelming cry. I remember. And I was alone when I was wheeled down to the home hemo department. And then when I saw my blood coming out of my body and going through the machine, that's when it kind of hit me emotionally that, you know, I'm not in control of my body anymore, and that it's real life. Like this is real life. It's really happening. And so everything came down, and as I was like getting cleaned, I was also releasing all these emotions. And I had to ask my boyfriend to come, and I was crying, and it was just a very surreal moment. And all the nurses in that clinic knows what I'm feeling, because I was the youngest. I was the youngest in that wing, in that dialysis unit. So they understand what I'm going through, and it took me a long time until now. I still cry about it, thinking of how. But then I think about how strong I am to really endure and to go through it. Because I feel like if I was a little bit older, it was probably harder. My body would probably take it differently, because my body right now is fighting and it's cooperating, and my organs are actually, aside from my kidneys, they're doing well and they're pretty healthy. And it's just the kidneys. It just makes me, because before I felt like I was indestructible because I'm young, I can do whatever I want. But then after the kidney issues, I basically had a shift in mind and my life and my whole people around me, my friends, my family, my supporters. We all kind of had a realization that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what your age is, you can be affected if you don't take care of your health. You can get sick. So I'm doing this video vlogging. I'm showing you guys because I want to showcase, I want to put a light on being healthy and taking care of yourself, not just physically but mentally as well, because it's very important. Because I really believe that my IgA got worse because I was in a lot of stress, just because I was overthinking. I was trying to be an overachiever. I wanted to be someone, I wanted to be something before I'm 30. But then I realized I just want to be alive before I'm 30. I just want to have children. I just want to be with my family. I just want to travel the world before I'm 30. So I'm doing this because I want to show to the world, to be grateful, to live, to be happy, to just appreciate life as much as you can, because life is short and life have a lot of surprises and you never know. So I really, really want the people who's watching this video to don't take life for granted, and love as much as you can, share as much as you can, and live life to the fullest before it's too late. Yeah. Ooh, it's so heavy. Oh God. Wait, I need to cry. I'm just gonna go muna.